Alright everyone, and welcome to the sixth video of the object-oriented programming. This one is on composition. So composition is the idea of putting an object within another object. This uses a has-a relationship. This allows larger objects to consist of smaller objects. Like a house is composed of a bedroom, a house has a bedroom, a car is composed of wheels, a car has a wheel, humans a human has a birthday. So those are all good examples of how composition could be used. So first you want to create a date class. This will consist of a month, day, year, which will be a string int. So here's our example of our class that we have, or our object. We have the date, month, day, year. So the human class will consist of first name, last name, date of birth, which will be a string, but this last one won't have a normal primitive type, it'll have a user-defined type. And this one will be the date. So it'll look like this. It'll have a first name of a string, a last name that's a string, and the date of birth, which is a date. So it'll have an entire object that sits within this portion here. Instead of just holding a small string or a small int, it's holding an entire object in this portion here, which it can completely do. That's very capable of doing it. It's a commonly used principle. So let's jump into our code. This one is kind of a long one. So first we have our libraries, include IOStream, using namespace standard. So we're going to be building a house today. The house is going to be comprised of a kitchen, a garage, a living room, a master bedroom, and we want to calculate its square footage. So first I create a size class. The size class is very basic. It just consists of a length and a width. Even though it looks very basic, it already is very long. Just by having a length and a width, I need getters and setters for both of them. So that's 2 getters and 2 setters for each of these objects, for each of these variables. I need a default constructor, I need a parameterized constructor, and I created my own function here. And it's a getArea function. So the way you get an area of any location in 2 dimensions is just the length times the width. So this is how we'll get the area of any item. Now we're also utilizing inheritance here. So all of these other classes, such as kitchen, garage, master bedroom, and did I skip one? Living room, I think. Maybe I did. I'm not sure. All of those will be inheriting size. So first we have kitchen, which inherits size. So it inherits the length and the width, plus the setters and getters, and of course the constructor and its special function. The kitchen class inherits all of that, plus it has a microwave, a stove, oven, fridge, sink. So very basic, although it looks like a lot, still very basic. Just have our default constructor, our parameterized constructor, nothing we haven't seen yet, and then we have all of our setters and getters. So here's all our getters, here's all of our setters. We have no special functions. Next, we have our garage. For our garage, of course, it inherits size, so it only has one special variable. So it has a default constructor, a parameterized constructor, and then just a getter and a setter. Next we have living room, which has a couch and a TV. And living room has a default constructor, a parameterized constructor, and then it also has 2 getters and 2 setters for its couch and its TV. And then we have our master bedroom. Master bedroom, of course, inherits size. It has 2 items, bed and closet. So it has our default constructor, parameterized constructor. It has 2 getters and 2 setters. So that is everything so far. Now we made all of those classes just to make this class here, the house class. So inside the house class, first we're noticing that the house class does not inherit size. The house class does not even have any of its own primitive types. The house class only has a kitchen, which is a kitchen object. It has a garage, which is a garage object. It has a living room, which is a living room object. And it has a master bedroom object. So those are all the things. There is no composition, but we now have all of these items. So a house has a kitchen, a house has a garage, a house has a living room, a house has a master bedroom. So that's the has a relationship. So that's the difference between inheritance and composition. While all of these inherit a size. So first we have our default constructor. So our default constructor for the house, all it does is it calls the default constructor for the four objects that it has. So the four objects being kitchen, garage, living room, master bedroom, calls all their default constructors. Now, notice here that instead of 2 overall constructors, we have 3 overall constructors. So now let's compare the 2 different parameterized constructors. The second constructor takes 4 objects as its parameters. It takes a kitchen object, garage object, living room object, and master bedroom object. It then assigns the object to the object. This is done using the constructor. So the parameterized constructor allows an object to come in and assign all the variables. So kitchen gets assigned, garage gets assigned, living room gets assigned, master bedroom gets assigned. So that is the second constructor. The third constructor takes all 18 parameters and assigns them manually. So you can create a house 3 different ways. You can create a house with no constructors. You can, parameters. You can create a house passing in only 4 parameters, each parameter being an object, or you can create a house passing in 18 individual primitive types, either an int, a string, a boolean. Looks like that's it. Yeah. So passing in of those 3 types, passing in 18 different ones, that will also build you a house. And it takes each one and gives it to its specific object. So the int L goes to kitchen, int W goes to kitchen, microwave goes to kitchen, stove goes to kitchen, oven, fridge, sink, then garage, length, width, parking spot, then living room, length, width, couch, TV, and the master bedroom, length, width, whatever we added for the master bedroom. And then we have the getters. Getters are very easy, so we have the 4 getters being get kitchen, garage, living room, and master, and we're just returning the object as a whole, and the return type is that respective object. So when returning a kitchen, the my kitchen, we have to have the return type of kitchen. Next, I created an object here. Shouldn't be in the getters portion. Should be on the outside, but it's just getting the square foot. So it's just taking my kitchen and it's having it call the get area for the respective my kitchen object. So it's getting the total area for my kitchen plus the total area for my garage plus the total area for my living room plus the total area for my bedroom. It's adding all 4 of those up and it's returning it as the get house square footage function. So I can get the total house square footage by getting all of the square footage of the 4 items that exist within the home and adding all of them up. Of course, this is assuming that there's no hallways or anything that counts for square footage, that all the square footage comes from those 4 respective locations of the home. Next, we have the 4 setters. So we are passing in, of course, void return type, passing in the items as parameters, and then it's using the object's setters. So it's using my kitchen, and it's using set microwave, my kitchen, set stove, set oven, set fridge, set sink. So it's passing in the object and then assigning it through. Whoops. Okay. So, and get square footage. Setters. So sets kitchen. Then you can do the same thing for set garage, set living room, and lastly for setting the master bedroom. So that would be the setters and the getters for the house object. Now within main, let's create a house. So we can create a house 3 different ways. We can create a house with a default constructor. So let's do that one first. So create 2 homes. Of the 3, we're going to create 2 of them. So the first way we can create a home is we create a house, and then we'll call it empty home. We'll do that because we're calling the default constructor, which we all know sets everything to 0. So we have an empty home here. So that's a way to create an object. And then what can we do with our empty home? Dot. To see what we do, we can get the garage, get the kitchen, get the living room, get the master, get the square footage. We can set the garage, set the kitchen, set the living room, set the master. So whatever we want to do, we have the option of doing that with our house object. So that's one thing we can do. Now, I want to create a kitchen, a garage, a living room, and a master bedroom. And then we will take all of those objects and we'll put it in as a parameter for the house. So the first thing we have to do is we will create a kitchen and we'll call it my K. And the dimensions of the kitchen, I'll give it 25 by 17. Kitchen. It's the kitchen. Next thing is microwave. Microwave. We'll give it like an Amazon microwave. Next is stove. Does it have a stove? True. Next is, does it have an oven, a fridge, and a sink? True, true, and true. True, true, true. Yeah. Okay, so we did our kitchen. Next, let's do the garage. And then we'll call it my G. So for a garage, let's say it's 30 by 30. And then does it have a parking spot? Indeed, it does. Next we have, and then at the bottom I always want to do return 0. We have, after the garage, the living room, my LR, and we'll say the living room is a little bit bigger. We'll say 20 by like 28. Next thing for living room, couch and TV. Let's say that we got a couch. That would be a true. And for TV, we got like a Samsung. We'll say it's a big one, 130 inch. I don't know if that exists, but if it does, it doesn't now. Close. Next, let's do the master bed, and we'll call it my MB. And let's say the master bedroom is 15 by 18. Master bedroom, and we'll say it's true and false. True and false. Cool. So we now have a kitchen, we have a garage, we have a living room, and we have a master bedroom. So all of these items independently is just a kitchen, it's just a garage, just a living room, just a master bedroom. I want to put all of these into a house. So house, and we'll call it my housey. And inside the housey, I want it to take in my kitchen. I want it to take in my garage. I want it to take in my living room. I want it to take in my master bedroom. And now I want to know the square footage of my house. So see out the total square foot is my housey dot let's get house square foot. Oh, well, I shouldn't have done that because I'm now realizing that in the get house square foot I actually put all the items in there, so it'll look a little funny, but let's see what it looks like. Okay, actually it doesn't look too bad. So the total square foot is 425 plus 900 plus 560 plus 270 equals 2155. So it's not bad. Not bad. Equals 2155. So walking through this again, just very quickly, we have our size. The kitchen inherits the size. Then we have its own respective items, its own 5 items for it. And then garage inherits size, has its 1 item. living room, inherit size, has its 2 items. Master bedroom, inherit size, has its 2 bedrooms. And then we have the house, which is composed of all 4 of these objects. So it takes all 4 of these objects, and then we have 3 total parameters. We have a constructor. 3 total constructors are parameterized. Our default constructor, parameterized constructor with objects, parameterized constructor with 18 specific primitive types. Then we have our getters, our setters, and then everything we have in our main. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you.